Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday, the 11th of October. We have got the remains of the showers and thunderstorms that cleared out of southeast Queensland yesterday, so not much happening there today. We've got a cold front that is moving across the southeast. It is very weak. We have got this system that is coming down through the interior, moisture coming in, showers and thunderstorms. If you're directly under a storm, you can get a heavy fall. So that's right in down through here. There are no radars in this area, so we can't see what is happening, but we've got the cloud that we can see there. Not much happening in the southwest. The next cold front is almost off the screen in through here. So that's the situation now. Let's have a look at what happened in the past week. Northeast New South Wales, southeast Queensland, they were the areas that got hit most for pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. So there was a lot of activity in through there. Some of it did extend to inland, so inland parts of Queensland, inland parts of generally northern New South Wales. If you look at the pattern in the southeast, it's very typical of cold fronts moving through. It hits the coast, it hits the ranges, and it tapers off as it heads inland. Heads across the ranges into here, so it tapers off in Victoria. Hits here, coming off the warm waters, no, not the warm waters, as in the waters that have moisture to the south, and then tapers off as it heads further eastwards. But if you have a look at what happened in Tasmania, it's the southeast that had the lighter falls. So the west coast picked it up. Yes, we've got cold fronts moving through, but because there was this feature in the northeast, that means the fronts were sliding down, which means they didn't extend very well into the southeast, but it did mean that northeast Tasmania did get hit by those. Over in the southwest, it has been very dry. So that's the situation in the past week. Having a look at where we are now, I'll just clip back up to the front. You can see I was preparing before we got here. We have a broad ridge of high pressure that is right across the south. There are no breaks in that. We don't have a split, so the tropical moisture remains to the north, and we don't see that down in the south for the moment. We need those highs to split so that we can establish that connection again. Moving through is just this weak system coming in across the southeast today. Here is the next cold front lining up. Here is this system that is snaking through the interior here, but not really coming into the far south thanks to that block from that high pressure. Having a look at the week ahead, we are still working on getting the outline of this a bit better so you can see it. We'll also be changing the colours a little bit so it doesn't look as much like a surreal painting, but the data you can see in there, that is from our AI forecast. Anything that is yellow in through here, that is 25 to 50 millimetres. This is in the next week. So we're looking at these parts, so the eastern parts of New South Wales. There is a fair bit of Victoria that is now in that zone. There is a little bit of South Australia that is now in that zone. I'll tell you the main falls from this one, they are progged to be next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's a full week away. So the confidence in that is currently low. But it is exciting to have something on the horizon, and we'll watch it as it gets closer to see if it remains like it is now. Otherwise, if you look at the green sort of tones, that's the 10 to 15, 20 millimetres. So there's this little bit in here. There's all of these remaining inland parts of New South Wales, southern parts of Queensland, and these inland parts of South Australia that may be picking up on those falls too. So something is coming in through here. Let's unpack it day by day. Now, if you're on our website here at janesweather.com, if you head to Jane's Update and you go to the rain forecast, that is where you see these graphs here. I'm going to jump into a thing that is still under construction is a nice way to put it. We're at the back here. Right, so we've got Friday here. We're on the AI forecast, and we're looking at the daily rain total. So this here is for Friday. It was updated at 10 o'clock this morning, AEDT. Right, so we've got this little bit of activity here, not much happening in the east at all. So this isn't going to add up to very much. It may seem a lot if you're underneath it there, but the droplets are small. It's not big falls. Here's all of this interior activity, not coming into the south thanks to that big ridge of high pressure. Not much happening over the southwest with that other trough that is there. This one just hitting Tasmania, really. It's very, very light falls if you're in the southern parts of Victoria. From that cold front, it's just sliding down to the south. That is Friday. Heading into Saturday, you can see it in the top corner here. This one starts to peter out. It really doesn't make it into the southeast. This one here is starting to develop a little bit, but they're not huge. We've got this one working its way up the coast. Essentially, that cold front came past. The colder air and a little bit of energy with that is now making its way up the east coast there. So we get those little falls in there. The green ones, that is 5 to 10 millimetres, maybe up to 15. So not huge falls, but enough to know about it as it moves through and the cooler air that comes with it. But otherwise, high pressure is here. We are taking a break. Heading into Sunday, here we have connection to tropical moisture. we've got this system coming through. Essentially, it is a trough that is likely to be running in through here. And if you're on the eastern side of that trough line, you have the chance of wet weather. So this one is coming through on Sunday, maybe making it to here. It's only one model that's actually showing that. Let's move into Monday. Here we have that essentially skipping much of the southeast. Still, high pressure is in control. We've got a little bit of a trough there. It's a kind of I'm going to try and give you a little bit of rain, but I definitely wouldn't guarantee it. It's not a strong system as it comes through. But this one is building in behind it. And as it works, it makes its way up the east coast. Really struggle to say makes its way up the east coast. It does increase as it taps into that eastern moisture from the Pacific and the Tasman Sea. So this is as we go into Monday. Tuesday, here is the next one that is building. Only one model has it out this far as we go into the day on Tuesday. Most of it have it catching up on Wednesday. So another one is building. We still have all of this activity over in the east. Head into Wednesday. Here we go. That bit moves through. It continues through these eastern parts of New South Wales and southeast Queensland. Meanwhile, the next system starts to build over in the west. So this is Wednesday, the middle of next week. Let's head into Thursday. This consolidates in through here. This one looks like a stronger system. It has that connection to tropical moisture. This is a great site if you want rain, but it is only if the models actually have a handle on it this far out. It is a week out, so there is definitely no confidence that this is coming. This is just something, a heads up on the horizon that could eventuate. It is on every model, though, which you'll see when we do our flick around the country, so that at least helps us think that there is at least something coming. Okay, so here we have Thursday next week. It is building in through here. Friday, here we go, a proper cut-off low moving across the southeast. If you want rain, a cut-off low is the thing that delivers it to you. Connection to tropical moisture flowing in, coming in from the Pacific as well. High pressure down in through here, so humid air is just pouring into the southeast, running into that low pressure system, turning it into rain. A cut-off low means it moves slowly, and anyone that is in its path gets soaked as it comes through. Slow and steady rain as it comes in. This is what the projections are showing, but again, it's a full week away, so we're going to need to wait till we get closer to have some confidence in it. This is Friday. Let's move into Saturday, continuing to move through slow and steady and making its way right up in through here. So this could be a big system that affects a large part of the country as it comes in. It is a full week away. Okay, so there's that one. Now, does the Euro model, in terms of the week overall, does it like it? Yes, it does. Have a look at all of these green tones that are in through here. It's not just a little bit of it. It's not just near the coast. This is proper inland. This is cut-off low moving through and actually being able to soak everyone as it comes in. So the potential for that, the Euro model really likes it. It doesn't like a lot of activity for here. So this is the current forecast, and it's from Monday onwards for the next week after that. No rain through here, or less than average. A good chance of better than average rain in these parts of the southeast. Let's have a look at the temperature equivalent of that. So here we are from Monday onwards, cooler in through here. We saw those pulses making their way up the east coast, bringing those cooler than average conditions and the rain that comes with them too. But a large area of warmth is in through here, and that is going to be making its way down to the southeast as well. Next week, up in the 20s if you're in Melbourne. Very exciting to see. Let's head back into week 2. Less exciting. It has got a little bit of green in through here, so maybe something is going to be coming in from the Indian Ocean, but the fact that all of this is down here indicates to me a belt of high pressure will work its way in through here, acts like a stop sign, acts like a block, and doesn't allow that connection from these systems to the south to tap into that moisture from the north. So indicates that week 2, so starting this one, the last week of October, less exciting than what we're going to see at the end of next week. In terms of the heat or cold that comes with that, let's skip forward. So this is week 2. This would indicate that cold fronts are coming into the southwest and they are sliding, and we've got warm air that is out ahead of that. All right, so let's have a look at the MJO. I was talking about this tropical moisture, this connection up into the north, and this is the graph that shows it to us. So it's on the seasonal update page. If you go at the top, we've got a now, we've got our forecast, and we've got long range. This is where you find this map. Madden-Julian oscillation, MJO, it's quite important, particularly as we go into the summer months. It is a pulse of energy that moves around the tropics. We like energy. We like tropics, so that's tropical moisture produces more rain, more moisture, and we like energy because it can turn it actually into rain. When it is here in the green zone, that means it is around Australia. It doesn't mean it's going to absolutely hit your particular spot, but it means it's in our vicinity. We've got some moisture to tap into. At the moment, how it has been, it's been moving through this area, which means it's on the other side of the globe and is no help to us here. When it comes through the green zone here, that is when we can be more, there's better odds of us connecting to that tropical moisture and delivering the rain where we need it. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. So we've got a nice connection to tropical moisture available to us, which gives us a little bit more confidence in that system that's coming potentially at the end of next week. Let's have a look at the sea surface temperature anomaly. Now, you notice that these haven't updated since the 27th of the 9th. It turns out that Hurricane Helene, so it's the first one that went through Florida, knocked out all of their systems and they're still bringing them back up. So unfortunately, we don't have anything updating here. We do have an alternative here, which comes from NOAA. Now this I have put into animation mode and we don't have our nice boxes on there, so it's harder to see, but we've got a box out through here in the Indian Ocean. We've got our box out through here in the Pacific. The thing I'd notice is there is warmer than average water all across the top of Australia. That means that whenever we can get that to flow into us, there is more moisture available to play with, more moisture to turn into rain when those weather systems can actually move through. So the moisture part of the equation looks like getting a bit of a tick. Another bit here is all of this blue is still developing. It's quite a nice pattern that is out there. Bits of it later in the month are sort of disappearing, so it's not quite as strong as what it was maybe 2 weeks ago. So there's quite a pulse of it in through there. Lighter bits that come in, so it's coming in and out. I'll show you that in the next graph that we've got. This one has a little bit of activity over in the west, but generally it is all it's kind of neutral. It's 50-50 between that box that we've got out through there. Okay, so let's have a look at Nino, which is the Pacific Ocean. This is the color of that box that is in through here. It is taking a stab at that particular point and it is telling us what the temperature of that one is. Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it the cool blues or is it the warm oranges? It has been sitting in the middle in through here. We were up in El Nino last time, so this is El Nino up in through here. This is La Nina down the bottom. It started to come out as we went through to the middle of the year. It sort of floated around and then it started to come back down again. In the last couple of weeks, it has weakened just a little bit. Now, this one here is the Australian model. It is the outlier. But has it got it? Look at literally the trajectory of what this line is doing. Is it on the money? That is a good question there. Every other model has it tipping down through, so this thinks it's going to continue to move down. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models that are pretty much crossing that threshold. Another one that is very close to it. So great, we've got a car horn. Let's try and ignore that. So we've got all of these that are coming down in through here. We've got this one that is on this side of neutral. This one out through here, that is later on. It's when it naturally comes out of it as it does every year. So I wouldn't worry about what they're doing in the long term. It's more about what's happening here through those summer months and into the very early part of next year. So these ones all still like La Nina. We are on the 10th, 11th at the moment. We're going to have a bit of an update in these models. So next week, I'll have some new fresh data for you here. But if you want a sneak peek before that, they update on Monday night. So come back in on Tuesday morning to that long range page and you can have a look for yourself as well. Okay, so there's our Pacific Ocean index and where we're likely to go there. The Indian Ocean one, we had all of this producing all of that high pressure blocking over the southeast, causing those cold fronts to slide southwards. That's where we were in winter. It tried to go into a negative IOD. It didn't quite make it. It went back and tried to go into another positive one. And now it has come down through here and just come out of it. We're getting very late in the season to have effects of this one, but it's more about, I would suggest, how much warm water is available off the coast in through here, off the northwest coast. That is our source of moisture rather than what this one here is showing us. So getting very late in the year to be taking anything of considerable value out of this particular map. Okay, let's have a look at the climate outlook. So this is from the Bureau. It's the latest one. It was issued yesterday. There is a lot of green on that map. So that is the chance of exceeding the median rainfall as we go through November, December, and January. So the 3 months as a whole, and we're either 50-50 or we're generally in this one. Now, this little bit of brown in the southwestern part of Tasmania would indicate that less cold fronts are coming through. Maybe it's more about these nice, slow, wandering cutoff low pressure systems that can deliver lots of rain to those in its path. Troughs setting up in through here, Pacific moisture pouring in. Could be day after day, could be too much rain by the time it actually comes in, depending on where they end up sitting. But this shows us that a vast majority of the country should hopefully be able to tap into that moisture source, and when low pressure systems move through, turn that into better than average rain. That's the Bureau's one. Let's have a look at the Euro model, looking very similar. So this is November, December, January. All of this is looking quite green, and we've got this brown zone that is in the southwest part of Tasmania there. So tick and tick. Let's have a look at the Canadian one. These are the new models. So it came through on the 1st, it was run on the 1st of October. They take a long time. Similar here, maybe a bit of a brown just in that southwestern corner. It's still loving lots and lots of moisture in through these parts because we're still back on the September one there. So only the Euro has come through. We're still on the old Canadian here. But yes, all of that is indicating a similar pattern. Now, each week we have a look at this American model, so the USA model, and this one is still doing the same thing. It's got all of these better than average rainfalls across the southeast again, but it still has all of this being on the dry side. I'm still not quite sure what is triggering this coming in through these parts here. It seems very at odds with every other piece of guidance that's going on. So we'll read into that what we want. Just very strange that it is still doing that same sort of pattern. All right, let's have a bit of a whip around the country. We'll start in Brisbane. I'll talk about southeast parts of Queensland while we're there. Not much in terms of wet weather coming through today. Not much in terms of cloud either. Nothing like we saw Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Looking here, we are zooming up in the temperature stakes tomorrow, and then something comes in at night. Now, 20%, 40%, 60%, more likely to be much later overnight, and there is the risk of thunderstorms with that one. As we move into Sunday, temperature does a bit of a dive again. We've got this here. Let's unpack that. We've got 60% and 80%, so that's all models liking something coming in through here. It's the energy from that system moving across the southeast now. It's got a little bit of cold air with it. It's got a little bit of moisture with it from the Pacific Ocean, and you're likely to see some wet weather there. Now, this is not stormy. It doesn't add up to a heap, so it's not a really exciting one coming through, but yes, you're likely to get some wet weather as we move through the day on Sunday. Moving into Monday, fairly similar, and it's only really light falls coming in, but we're sort of around the 60% mark in terms of how many models have that. Then we go to our rainfall here. 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, or 4 out of 4 models. That's what the reference is in terms of the percentage. Okay, moving into Monday, there we are, Tuesday. That's when things get exciting again. We go back to being a bit more stormy, although it does seem to be, the Canadian, the USA, and the European, all of like that. So we've got 40 to 60% occasionally there. The Euro, which is the green one, here we go, doesn't like heavy falls, but these two do. Heading into Wednesday, and we've got 1, 2 models. So the Euro maybe likes it coming in later. Again, the risk of thunderstorms as this one comes in. So this is the middle of next week. Could be another repeat of what we had last time, but clearing out as we go through the day on Thursday. All right, let's move down to Sydney. Here we have today just slightly above average, so we're 22. Let's watch this one come in. We have got southeasterly winds for the minute, they're easterly, they're northerly, and there's a southerly change. So that comes through about 10 o'clock tonight. So let's pop into there. We'll move it out and into Saturday. So here it is, the risk of thunderstorms with that one. So you might get about a late Friday night wake-up call there. And then it is a bit of a blowy southerly as we go into Saturday. That's going to make it quite chilly once again. So the nice weather is today. It's not nice as we move into tomorrow. Most of that, though, is during the morning. Heading into Sunday, we're about 20. Not much in terms of wet weather left over. That's 1, 2, maybe 3 models that like something overnight. very, very light. Heading into Monday, here we go. The risk of storms comes back afternoon and evening. Most of the models like it, lasting into Tuesday as well. This one is ahead of the pack in terms of when the next weather system is coming in. So it is only the Australian one that likes that as we move through, and then just a little bit from Europe as we come in. So that's where we're heading for Sydney. Let's head into Melbourne in through here. We do have a cool southerly during the day today. There's the odd shower just coming in, very light, very brief. I wouldn't be worrying about them at all. More likely it will just get a spot of drizzle as we go through overnight. Going into Saturday here, about 18 as the top, increasing sunshine as the day goes on, and all of that drizzle is only early. Heading into Sunday, temperatures jump up, our wind flicks northerly. There we go. It will be a little bit gusty as we go through the day on Sunday, but you do need a wind to blow that energy, to blow that heat to us here. So that's why we go from 18 to 24 or 25 in such a short jump. Now, let's unpack this. All 20%. This is only the Canadian model that likes anything coming in by Sunday night. The rest of them are more likely to be Monday morning, just here, clearing up around lunch or early afternoon. One model likes heavier falls. The rest of them only like it to be light. That tells me that only one model is really gung-ho on it. The rest of them a bit mediocre, wishy-washy. So I would expect that we won't see very much from this one here. One model likes it early. Most of them like it on Monday in the morning. Most of them only have very light falls from this. So that is the guidance I would take from it. As we go into Monday, it's not a cold change. It's back to about 21 by the time that moves out. So nothing chilly in behind it. As we go through Tuesday, back up to 25. Here's that warm air I was talking about coming down into the southeast. Here, only one model likes it. Only the Australian model at the moment has anything on Tuesday. Let's move through to Wednesday. Australian and the European like it. And we've got all of our warm air. We do have the slight risk of storms as that one comes through too. Let's go down to Thursday. Here we are, slightly cooler on some of the models, still warm on these guys. We've got this one, these two models, so separate to those two. These two like it to come in by Thursday night. And if we head into Friday, that's when all of them have it. Here we have 60, 80% all through these hours here. Every single model likes that rain system to move across southeastern Australia at the very end of next week. We don't have confidence in it because it's a full week away, but we do like that every single model has it. Okay, and that should continue into Saturday. Again, 60, 80%. Some of these have some nice big falls in terms of the rainfall range. Okay, that's for Melbourne. Heading over to South Australia. Very quiet today. We've got sunshine. It's just sitting on about 21. Moving into Saturday, temperatures rise a little bit. Higher cloud does increase, but there's no wet weather. Moving into Sunday, that's when our chance of showers and thunderstorms comes through as that next system comes in. Now, when we were talking about Melbourne, how it peters out, I don't think we're going to get much through South Australia either. The high pressure is sitting there now. It's going to take a lot to override what is going on with that one there. So the system does look cool as it comes in, but I think it won't actually deliver a lot by the time it actually reaches there Sunday into Monday. So that's Sunday into Monday. Tuesday next week, we've got some very warm weather coming in through here. All of that heat over the interior able to come down to the south, and there is a little bit of wet weather with it. Now, I would suggest that Adelaide and much of South Australia are more about the Thursday into Friday mark as to when we're likely to see that bigger rain system come through. So Thursday, Friday is when we're in that part of the world around South Australia. Let's head over to Perth. Not a lot happening. It is warm. We've got our northerly winds. There is a cool change coming in through here. It's not a strong one. And then we've got a reduction in temperature tomorrow. But in terms of wet weather, there's really nothing much there at all. Sunday, just a pleasant day. Heading into Monday, similar. Now we've got this system coming in 20%, 40%, maybe 60%. You'll notice if you zoom right in through here, it's not really delivering anything. So that tells us that three models like something to be there, but it's not going to add up to very much. So yes, you are likely to see some wet weather. If you have a project that can't be wet at all, this tells you that you've got a problem as you move through here. If you can handle a little rain, then you're fine. Yes, all of them like it, but it's not going to add up to very much. Okay, moving into Wednesday, that's when the next big system moves across the southwest, 0 to 12 millimetres for this spot, which is Perth, Western Australia. There will be bigger falls in the other parts. But yes, it is Wednesday when that is likely to come on through. Okay, that's it from me for this week. As always, head to janesweather.com and you can get the very latest for your spot.